So yeah, so now you see why we removed the bracket, because the bracket, and you see the green that I was talking about. So the green, you're not gonna disconnect it until the whole starter is out, because it's actually connected to on top of the starter, and it's gonna be impossible to do it from there. So okay, so to remove the starter, you're gonna remove, this is under the car, and that's the starter right there. It's under the intake manifold, and there's a bracket right there. That's the bracket. It's got two bolts and then one on the side right there. You can take it off completely. I only removed the two ones right there, and then the other one I let it hanging. I did loosen it just to let it hang, but the starter is right there, bracket is right there. It's right there. That's the bracket. It's like a green. No, it's black. It's black, and it holds the, it's connected to the intake manifold right there. You see the two bolts? It's nothing special. It's connected right there. It's just, I guess it's just to keep the intake manifold in place. And then okay, so you remove that bracket first. Two bolts that are holding the starter is that one. That one's easy to see, it's like on the bottom. And then the other one is like, you go to the back of the starter, and up above it right there, that's that second bolt. It's right by next to the green thingy right there. It's like cable. That's actually the ground, I believe, to the starter. That one, the ground to the starter, is not gonna come off until you remove the two bolts and the starter slides out. Same thing with the connection itself to the starter, because it's really hard to get your fingers in there. So as long as you remove the two bolts holding the starter, then you'll be able to slide it out and disconnect the because that green thing it's connected to a bracket on the starter. It's nothing special, it's just like simple click. And then the connection to the starter is on top, and same thing, when you slide it out, it's just gonna be easy to disconnect. To remove the bottom bolt, I used okay, so I'm down. By the way, we jacked the car up, right? So you jack it up as high as you can. Use strut towers so you have the space to slide in there under the car, and then you're gonna have space to work on it. So no need to remove anything else really. So for the bottom bolt, I use the exhaust is right here, so it's on the way. I just used a extension that comes out to right here, and then you have enough space to move the ratchet and loosen it. Right here, you see, right there, and right here. It's a 14 millimeter, I believe. The top one. For the top one, we removed the tire. We removed the passenger side tire. I don't know if you guys have done a Civic SI. Yeah, Civic SI oil change. See how the oil change is like in the back, the oil filters in the back, and it's hard to get to. It's kind of like that. You have to remove the tire to have the access to it. So up there you don't have a space to do that. So what I did is I used one of those connections to connect to the bolt, right, the 14 millimeter to the socket, and one of those connections that bends like this a little bit, because you want to angle it, and then you want it to come out. You want to use a really long extension that is going to come out all the way to like over here, and that's the wheel well under the serpentine belt and stuff. So you for sure gotta figure that one out. Me, I actually ended up using I didn't have the what I'm telling you yesterday. It would have made it a lot easier, but unfortunately I didn't have it. So what I did is I just connected my ratchet, right, with an extension, and then I actually used a freaking breaker bar to get it loose. I used the chassis right there to make the leverage and break it loose. So that's like kind of the harder part about it. other than that, everything comes out smooth, and you guys see under the car right here. So you just gotta find your way to make sure you get that bolt out right there. Always make sure you have your socket pushed in, because you for sure don't want to strip it, because then if you strip that bolt, then you're in a lot of trouble. Another thing that maybe you can use, like a really long one of those is it a ratchet? Wrench, like a really long wrench, the ones that have that are kind of like the ratchets that go and then maybe you could do it from here, but I don't have that. So then you put everything back the same way. Pretty simple. It's just the top bolt is a hard one. No need to remove anything else, and it worked. Sometimes you just tap the starter right there, and it'll start too. Oh yeah, that's the starter right there. You can actually, if your car won't start, you can hit it. You hit the black part right there. You just tap it with like a hammer, or you grab a screwdriver and then use a hammer to tap it, and you might get lucky and it might start. You can also hit it from the back. You see right there, the back part of it, so it's like a circle. You can also tap it there, and if you're lucky, it will start. Once you have the bracket out of the way, you're just gonna stick your finger and you're gonna feel the other bolt up there, and like I said, it's gonna be across. So you see the one right there. Where's my finger? So it's hard to explain, but let's say this is the starter, right? It's round, so the bottom bolt is here, the other one is across, and it's gonna be somewhere around here. Okay, so I'm so done. So actually, you guys see right there. So again, once again, this is bolt number 1. So that's the bolt number 1, right? Bottom one, and then look, I'm moving the camera to the back, and then right there, and then zoom in there, and it's right there. You see that? See that right? Come on, zoom in. I mean, focus. See it right there? It's focused right there. That white, it looks like white type of head right there. That's it. That's right there. That's it.